Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Rich, aka F Word, and this video is just going to be just a list of all the gear that I'm bringing on my 2018 Appalachian Trail through hike. Through hike, if you don't know, meaning I'm hiking the bitch all the way through from Georgia to Maine. Well, at least that's my intent. There's a whole number of things that could come up and make me have to come off trail, which I hope do not happen. Um, so, like I said, the intent is to make it all the way through, and this is the gear that I'm bringing with me to get me there, man. Uh, well, well, first of all, I'm not gonna go through every piece of gear specifically. Talking about like when it comes to food, I'm not gonna break down all the food I have. I'll show you the food bag, maybe tell you a little blurb about it, and then keep it moving to the next thing. Um, so let's start. Start with the big stuff here. Firstly, I need something to put all that gear in. So that's what this guy here is for. This is my that's my backpack. Got myself a it's a Deuter ACT 60 plus 10 liter. So 60 liters plus 10 liters, which is this little flappy guy up here. That's an extra 10 liters. I could honestly probably get away with a 50-liter bag, but this is what they had at the REI garage sale for 68 bucks a few years ago. This is the only backpack I've ever used on a multi-day hike. Actually, works really well. It's definitely a little heavier than I wish it was. It's like almost 5 pounds. The really, really, really good ones that run you like between 2 to 3, 400 bucks. Those are more like less than 2 pounds sometimes, or they hover around 2 pounds. So this is over twice the weight that it could be, which sucks, honestly. But I just don't have the resources to be able to go get another bag right now. So this is what I'm rocking with, man. And it is a good bag. It's definitely capable of getting me from anywhere that I need to go. It's a great bag. It's just a little heavier than I wish it was. But some features on it. It's got this separate pouch down here. It's for my sleeping bag, which helps it pack a lot more comfortable, a lot neater, a lot better. And then inside here, you see this bag. This is just like a trash bag. I'm using that as my pack liner. That'll save me some more money too, as opposed to going out and buying some $30, $40 pack liner. Trash bag works great. And I'm definitely not the only person that uses trash bags as a pack liner. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It will save you money. And they're super waterproof, super replaceable. If it rips in the middle of a trip and you don't have a backup, just a little bit of duct tape will fix it. So, yeah, this is my pack with the trash bag pack liner. All right, what do we got next here? Let's go with some more big stuff. How about my tent? This tent that I'm bringing, this is actually a Gear Top ultralight 20D, I think is the actual model. It's a one-man tent by Gear Top. Cost me $100, man. You can't beat that. I set it up right before this nor'easter that we just had up here in the Northeast. Set it up in the backyard right before that storm. Let the storm pass. Kept it up for like 2 days altogether. It was bone dry on the inside, man. Really, really good tent. I'm happy with it. Looks super well made. And on Amazon it was $100. So you can't beat that either. Again, I wish I had. Oh, by the way, this tent here weighs like 2.5 pounds, which is pretty darn good. Especially considering the other tent that I had before this one. It was an REI Passenger one. And it was like almost 5 pounds. It was like 4 pounds, 10 ounces. And it also leaked just a little bit. So what I did, I kept this outer bag here because it's better stuff sack for the tent. But inside here is not the REI. It's the Gear Top one-man ultralight 20D. Awesome tent. So I got my pack, my tent. My sleeping bag is inside here. I'd like to keep it in a trash bag just, again, to keep myself dry. Last thing you need after hiking in the rain all day is to climb into a wet sleeping bag. So I just use this little trash bag to put it over top of it. The actual sleeping bag I have is a Mountain Smith Antero. It's a 30-degree bag. It's a synthetic. They make them either synthetic or down. Down's usually preferred. Again, down it's going to cost you that money too. If you haven't guessed, I'm on a budget here. Part of it's because I have to be, but part of it's because I kind of want to do it with gear that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, just to show that like it can be done. I mean, yeah, I would buy that really awesome stuff if I had the money for it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just trying to say that you don't have to be like super rich or bust your bank or crush your savings just to buy some of this gear, man. This sleeping bag cost me, I think it was $70. And every trip I've used it on, it's been great, actually. And it's, again, Mountain Smith Antero. It's a 30 or 35 degree bag, I'm not sure. And I also have a silk bag liner, or it's a it's a sleeping bag liner. Basically, it adds like a good 5 to 10 degrees. So turns this 35 degree bag into a 25 degree bag, which is probably the limit of what I'll be getting into on the AT. It might dip a little lower than that. I'll sleep with some clothes on it. I'll be all good. But this is a good pack here. And I also have the sleeping bag liner as well. Which honestly is kind of a pain in the ass when I tried to test it out. I might end up ditching it throughout the trail, but I would like it for it to work, because the sleeping bag liner also will help keep your sleeping bag clean on the inside, so you don't really have to wash your sleeping bag much while you're out on the trail. And also you can use it in the summertime as like what you sleep in. So you don't have to sleep in a hot ass sleeping bag in the summer. So it's a really versatile piece of gear. So like I said, it's a pain in the ass, but I think I just didn't quite know how to use it as smoothly as I'll be able to after I use it every day, I think. Hopefully that's the case. But I'm bringing it with me anyway, and I really hope that it does the job. Next, all right, food. This is my dry sack that I keep my food in. This is an REI dry sack. Cedar Summit makes them. Big Agnes makes them. I don't know, a ton of companies make dry sacks. Dry sack, yeah, it's waterproof, of course. And inside here I have all my food, also my coffee and Propel packs here. Propel is to just flavor up my water, so I'm not just drinking just boring old water all the time. Not that water's terribly boring, but this gives you them electrolytes too, which I'm going to be losing electrolytes to get them back up in me. And then coffee. I got these Starbucks instant coffees here. Those are going to get pricey if I keep using them, so I'm going to be looking for an alternative to this Starbucks. I just want to be able to find a good dark roast, though, because that coffee is definitely important in the morning, man. And I like to have a nice cup of coffee after my dinner, too. We'll see if I'll be doing that on trail, though. I'll probably want to go right to bed after dinner. But anyway, so I got it all different bagged out here. This is all my breakfast. I'm sorry. This is all my lunch stuff here for 5 days. Got all my breakfast stuff here for 5 days. Also in my breakfast pouch are some multivitamins and some Aleve in there too, which I'll take every morning. And with my breakfast, I love cream and sugar in my coffee. It's hard for me to drink it black, actually. Obviously, I can't be carrying a pound of sugar and a quart of cream with me all the time, or at all. But you can mix up one of those Carnation breakfast essentials. You can get like a mocha, or I've been using French vanilla. So it's sweet and it lightens up your coffee. So it acts like as your cream and sugar. And it's also like a meal in itself in the packet. Like that's what they're meant for. I've heard of other people using these on trail too. So I actually thought that I was original and thought of this until I started watching some videos and seeing that like everybody else does it too. But anyway, Carnation instant breakfast with the coffee. That's that shit. And also got my dinners here. That's a bigger bag. In here I got like Idaho and potatoes, Spam packets. I treated myself to a couple Mountain House meals. Those are like dehydrated meals where you just add hot water and let it sit in the bag for like 10 minutes or something like that. Those are pretty good. But yeah, five dinners here. And I got my 5 lunches and my snacks as well. So that's my food there. One thing I'll say about snacks, if you've never heard of them before, you got to get yourself one. Chunky bar. That's right, chunky bar. Milk chocolate, raisins, peanuts, and like a big brick of chocolate, dude. It's so good. I don't know why more people aren't turned on to the chunky bars, man. Way better than the Snickers. They're just, they bring you back to life, man. They even got a little protein in them. They're so good. I crush those things when I'm out on trails. Excuse me. I gotta get this soda in now while I can. Anyway, so that's my food. All right, so how do I cook this food, man? All right, that's actually a question I get a lot. So some gear I got to bring with me to be able to cook my food. This here is my MSR Pocket Rocket stove. This is a really common stove to have on the AT. They do make some lighter, better ones nowadays. When I got this is pretty much top of the line. It's not anymore, but it's still a really good stove. You know, I could afford to go get like one that's a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit better, but I trust this one because I've had it, I've used it, I know it well now, and so it works great, man. So that's the MSR Pocket Rocket. Comes in this little case here. Keep that thing nice. And also, I don't have it with me because I can't bring it on the plane when I leave tomorrow. It's my little canister of fuel that you attach this stove to. You just twist it right on there, and then and that's how you cook. You boil up water, and you boil up water in a pot. Yeah, the pot I'm using here. This chick Dixie, her channel's called Homemade Wanderlust. I was watching some of her videos, and she's got this really clever cook system where she's got like this like $5 aluminum grease pan. I got mine on Amazon. Apparently you can get them at like Kmart. And that's what it is right there. It just says grease on it. And you modify it to have one of these little hooks on here so you can put a stick through there and open it up because it's going to be hot, obviously. Yeah, you just boil your water right on in here. If I want, I could like throw this thing in a fire if for some reason like I'm out of fuel or something like that. And yeah, so this is how I cook. I put the pasta in there, let it cook. I also did another thing that I learned from Dixie from the Homemade Wanderlust channel. I made this homemade cozy here. So this is going to save me a lot of fuel. So you get the water boiling, put your pasta in there, turn the stove off, save that fuel, and you put this in the cozy, and that keeps it like really nice and hot, and it'll cook in here. It takes it longer to cook, but it does cook it, and it's going to save me probably like, I don't know, 75% worth of my fuel, or at least half of my fuel. So that is a money saver. It's a little arts and crafts project to make this thing. I actually kind of had fun doing it. But that's how I cook my food. And then I'll be eating out of that pot too. This guy here, I keep it wrapped up in my bandana because I also use this bandana to clean out that pot. You gotta clean your pot out when you're done. Otherwise, all your food after you cook it and that, it's gonna taste nasty. This is what I eat with. This is just a long spork. This is a Sea to Summit titanium spork. Hell, you could probably get like that good thick plastic silverware from Boston Market, be just as light. That was pretty durable too. I might try that one day actually, but this actually is a really good spork right here. So that's my Sea to Summit spork. That's what I'll be eating with. Got my pocket knife here too, in case I gotta cut anything up. But the food I'm bringing, that's not like food you gotta cut up and eat, you know. But if I would need a knife for cooking, I would use my pocket knife, which I'll probably be using for a lot of other stuff. And also my cup for coffee. This goes to actually a set. It's by Sea to Summit. The set includes a pot that does the same thing too. but it's a little heavier, so I went with that little aluminum guy I just showed you instead. The cup's really cool though. It collapses, so it saves you on space. And I actually just store this thing right on in here. So I put this in here. I put my stove in there. And I'm taking that piece. And voila. So that's a little room saver there too. It's pretty tight. Alright, next. How about, going to the bathroom. Some places you come to have a privy. Most of them don't. So unless I'm in town or if I'm at a shelter that has a privy, then you just have to dig a hole and you go to the bathroom right in that little hole you dig. Dig it like 6 inches deep or something. I used to have one of those little cat hole trawls, like those little plastic shovels, like for like gardening. And it kind of works, but when the ground's hard, man, like that thing does not work well. Those plastic things, like you just feel like you're gonna break it. So I went and spent the money on what they call the Deuce of Spades. That's just like little, I guess it's aluminum, this thing. And I made a handle out of it, or with it. I made a handle for it because it's got like sharp edges here. I made this handle out of an old sleeping pad that I'm not going to be using this year. Because I upgraded my sleeping pad, which we'll get to. But you can see this used to be a sleeping pad here. I just kind of cut a little hole and jam that thing through there, man. So now I got a handle for this thing, so I'll be able to grip it good. It weighs like literally less than a half an ounce, and that way I can get a good hole going in there. Because you're gonna need that. I got a little toilet paper here too. This is not much toilet paper here, so this is another pack that I'll be bringing with me. It's like biodegradable. It's made for camping, so that way it'll actually not stay in the ground for hundreds of years. It'll disintegrate in there. So yeah, that's how you go to the bathroom out there. Also, that's some little first aid guide right here. This just has my moleskin, which is it's like special bandages for if you feel like you're getting a blister coming on. You put that on the blister and hopefully it keeps you good. I don't know. I hope this stuff works if I start getting blisters. I've never had blister problems before hiking, but that's definitely one of my fears of things that could possibly take me off the trail for good would be getting terrible blisters. Sounds like a not that big of a deal, but dude, that's like one of the biggest things that takes people off the Appalachian Trail is blisters that you just can't bear anymore. So that's, I got moleskin in there. I got some gauze stuff in there. In case I got like a really, really bad cut or something, or a gash, God forbid. A little bit of antiseptic wipe, like alcohol wipe things. A little bit of Neosporin mini packet things, just like the generic brand. And anti-diarrheal pill, got a couple of them just in case. A little pair of like mini scissors, which hopefully I'll never use. A little tiny tube here of athlete's foot cream. I don't have athlete's foot, but every once in a while, like, I don't know, my foot will itch. So when I put this stuff on there, it stops itching. So that's why I'm carrying that. Yeah, athlete's foot. I don't know. Maybe I got it. I don't know. Once in a while, my foot itches. It gets like a little thing. You guys don't need to hear about that. All right, let me stay on topic here. What else I got? You got to have some sunglasses out there. So I got these bad boys here. You like these sunglasses. Check out how awesome these things are. Yeah. I don't know how effective they are against like UV rays, but they look pretty cool. And I don't know, these are my favorite sunglasses, so these are the ones I'm bringing. This is some rope right here. It's 50-foot nylon rope. Not that I'm going to be like rappelling off of like cliffs or anything like that. This is for hanging up my food at night. And anything that may smell like possible food, like toothpaste, that kind of thing. For bears. You have to bear hang your food. So it goes up like 10 feet in the air, 4 feet off a branch, and you hang your food up. That way critters can't get to it. We'll see if I continue to bear hang my food throughout the whole trail. I've heard of a lot of people that really don't bear hang their food. seems like a pain in the ass to do all the time. That being said, um, it sounds pretty stupid to not bear hang your food. So I'm bringing this, and I think I'm going to be doing it. But if I see a whole bunch of people getting away without doing it all the time, I may follow in their footsteps. Sorry to say. I'm sure there's some purists out there that are cringing right now if they ever hear this, but that's how that is. Also in this little first aid guide, this is just like really an emergency bag. It's not just first aid. For setting fires, I got just some waterproof matches. They're actually really good too. They're the shit. They work really, really well. Super reliable. And a little bit of dryer lint in here too, which weighs like absolutely nothing. But it's a good like fire starter, especially if it's hard to find dry stuff out there. At least I'll have some dryer lint in order to get a fire going. And you can also like light your duct tape on fire too, and like wrap it around a branch, and it's supposed to be able to make a torch if you ever need to do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that on the AT. It's a good way to start a forest fire probably, but it's another cool use of duct tape. Anyway, for nighttime, I got my headlamp here. You just throw this bad boy on like that. That's the red light right there. You want that red light because if you're in a shelter and you gotta look around for some stuff, people are sleeping in there, man, and people are going to bed by like 9 o'clock after a long day hiking. So if you got to be up looking for stuff, or if you're in like a hostel or anywhere that has a bathroom and you got to go up, put the red light on. That way you don't wake people up. All right. And it's got the regular light on there too. But that's my headlamp right there. And I also have a couple extra batteries in that little emergency bag there too. Because this runs on like 3 AAA batteries or something like that. All right. This is something that I wish I didn't have to take. Other people don't have to take this, but I kind of do. These are hand warmers. Don't laugh, because I'm not bringing hands because my hands just because it gets cold outside. I have something called Raynaud's disease, and it's basically like a circulatory problem with my capillaries. People that get it, what happens like when their hands get cold, especially if they're cold and wet, and also your feet, just like when it's really cold, from like my middle knuckles down, they turn like completely like this ugly like whitish yellow, and they go numb. Like I can't feel them, and they almost kind of hurt though, and it's just really awful actually. It happens to my feet too sometimes, and only when it's cold and wet, or just really cold. Which it's going to be when I start this thing. So I got to get these guys here, these little hand warmers. I'm just bringing a few of them. It's extra weight that I wish I didn't have to carry, but I got to bring those things. That's for me hiking my hike. I'm going to need those because of this stupid little condition I got. And I know my baby Jackie Spencer watching. She knows, she can relate because she's got that thing too, and it sucks, man. It kind of weighs on your mind a little bit. So hopefully that will ease the emotional distress of not being able to feel my fingers for like the first third of the day before it warms up. But anyway, so I'm bringing those. This is a little washcloth right here. I weighed this thing. It weighs literally 1 ounce. And the convenience of having some type of towel that can soak up water while you're out there is like so huge. You can use it to wipe off condensation on the inside of your tent. Use it to dry off your cookware. You just use this thing for so many things. And it's so much better than a bandana in terms of like wiping up water. Like it'll actually soak it up if you need it to. So that's why I'm bringing this too. And it's really only 1 ounce, so I'll take the weight penalty on that. Excuse me. Next, electronics. So yeah, I'm going to be doing my YouTube stuff while I'm out there on the trail. I also need to be listening to music. I'm going to be recording all this on my cell phone because I don't want to have to bring a GoPro too and be worried about that. And the cell phone's fine, so I'm bringing that. And then inside here, I've got my portable charger. This portable charger here gives me 3 charges on my cell phone. And it plugs right into the wall. That doesn't even need a cord. And then I have an outlet guy that the USB plugs into to charge phones. Can't think of the name. The wall charger part. And then I also have not one, but two iPad Nanos with me, or one's a touch and one's a nano. Altogether, they weigh a half an ounce. I'm sorry. No, altogether they weigh 5 ounces. So they weigh 2.5 ounces each. Um, this is one of my luxury items here. Most people might bring one or they use their phone, but I don't want to kill my battery on my phone playing music all the time. That way I won't be able to record stuff or use my phone when I need to use my phone for phone things. And I chose this as my luxury item because, like a lot of other people, yeah, music's important for me. And it's definitely a huge motivator. It really makes an uphill climb so much better when you have music you can listen to, and instead of just listening to yourself breathe and being out of breath and miserable. So yeah, so to not take the chance of not being able to listen to music when I need it, I've got two iPods with the exact same stuff on them. And I'm happy about that decision. Call me crazy for bringing two iPods and having a little bit of extra weight. I'm taking that weight penalty for sure. I also got a book on tape on there too. It took John Carr and a couple other people's advice and downloaded the Lonesome Dove. So I'm going to be looking forward to chilling in my tent on a rainy day listening to that while I take a 0 day. Or while I'm just waiting for some rain to pass or something. So yeah, that's these are my electronics here. I got the cell phone, which I'm using to record this. Got my portable charger, which I can use to charge my cell phone and iPods. And I got my iPods and the wall chargers. So that's that. It's my toothbrush and toothpaste here. You gotta stay hygienic no matter where you're at. This bag has bags. This is my bags bag. Inside here I have some extra gallon Ziploc bags so I can pack out my trash. Also a couple extra of the trash bags for like a pack liner. And also I use a trash bag as a pack cover. I have never been able to find a pack cover that really fits my pack that's meant for keeping rain off your pack. But I actually turned a giant trash bag into a pack cover, and it works really well. I've been able to take it on and off the pack, so that's going to help keep my pack dry too. I keep that in here, and then a couple extra little sandwich Ziploc bags too. Those Ziploc bags are your friend out there, because getting any of your equipment or gear wet really sucks, man. It really, really sucks. It like ruins your trip, so I'm going to stay dry this time as best as I possibly can, and all my gear is too. Alright, what else am I bringing? Okay, this guy here, inside this bag, this is my AT guide right here. Tells me all the different shelters along the trail, all the different hostels you can stay at, all the towns you go through, the elevation gain and loss, like basically step by step, literally, or at least 1/10 of a mile by 1/10 of a mile. I have like the first fifth of the book in this bag. I ripped that out. I'll be sending the rest of it to me periodically throughout the hike. That way I'm not carrying an entire book with me. I just have like a little section here. Also in this bag, I have a little notebook, like a little memo pad to write with. And I got a pen and this little mini Sharpie right here. So I'm taking that. Alright. Water. This is a bottle for my dirty water here. So I'll get dirty water out of the creek, I'll filter it, and then fill up my bottle with clean water here. And then also, after I have this bottle of clean water, I'll probably fill this up again, depending on where my next water source is, if I need to carry more water. I'll fill this up again and leave it with the dirty water, and that way I have more water that I can filter if I need to. So I've got a couple liters of water here, and also, you got to filter that water. You can't just be drinking water out of the creeks around this. Well, some of them you can, actually, but I'm not taking that chance, man. So I got this water filter here. It's a really, really, really common water filter to have on the AT. It's called the Sawyer Squeeze. Don't get the mini because the flow rate coming out of this thing is super slow, and you're only saving yourself maybe an ounce. I think I've heard it was that you save with the mini. So I just get this regular size one here. Comes with this bag. Take the top off. You screw this right into here. After, well, of course, you get your dirty water into this bag. Then you screw this onto here, and you squeeze the water into your water bottle. Hell, you can even screw this on top, like on your water bottle, like where the lid would normally go, and you can drink water right out of that. Man, this thing is awesome. It only costs like 30-40 bucks, and it's the same filter I've used for every backpacking trip I've ever been on. Also, Sawyer Squeeze, man, highly recommend this stuff. And also, am I taking? Trekking poles. These are my trekking poles right here. I have them collapsed right now. I'll show you what they look like when they're not collapsed. I got the flint lock here too, so that's another good feature that I was hoping for. These I got these on eBay right here. These are black diamond trekking poles. I'm not sure the exact model number. I used to know, but I forget. But anyway, brand new. These are like $120 trekking poles. I got these on eBay from some guy selling them. He used them like once. Bought them off him for 65 bucks, man. So I got a great deal on these things. And trekking poles are really important, man. Well, they are for me anyway. They just make the hike so much easier. You have more control, and it's more of a natural walk too. It's better for your back to have these. Just get some trekking poles if you're going to go out and do some real hiking. But on this trekking pole, this right here, is a little bit of duct tape I have wrapped around there. Because you don't want to bring a whole roll of duct tape, but you definitely want to bring some duct tape. So this is how you bring it. You just wrap it around the pole here. And this is a little bit of medical tape. It's like squishy, like almost like rubbery. So in case I need to wrap up my knee, wrap up my ankle or something, this will work great for that. And I also wrapped a little bit around the handle right here. That'll keep me from getting blisters on my hand because it's honestly not the most comfortable grip on here. I wish I had some with the cork grips. Cork grips are way more comfortable, but they weren't 65 bucks on eBay either. So I got these, and that one little wrap around of the medical tape makes these things super comfortable, man. Better than the cork actually. So now I think about it, I'm glad I got these. But anyway, great trekking poles, black diamond. These also double as tent stakes for my tent. My tent requires trekking poles to set it up with. That's how it's only 2.5 pounds, which is great. So again, it's giving me, so this is another thing that I'm using for more than one activity. So those multi-purpose items are awesome to have with you. And your trekking poles are one of them. And they'll also help you fight off a bear if you got to fight off a bear too. Because I ain't bringing no bear spray this time. That's right, I'm not bringing bear spray. You don't need it, man, and it's heavy and cumbersome. You never use it, you don't need it. But hey, man, if you feel like you want to bring it, and you're scared without it, then bring it. I don't know, don't let me tell you not to bring your bear spray. But I'm not bringing mine. I'm just going to fight a bear off with my trekking pole. Alright. Alright, what else am I bringing with me? Some clothing. Clothing. Alright, I keep my clothing in this little stuff sack right here. And then also, it's not a waterproof stuff sack, so I've got it all in a trash bag here as well. I'm not going to take it all out and show you all my clothes. I'll tell you, I do like to layer things, so I've got a lot of layers in here. But basically, I have 2 sets of clothes to hike in, and then 1 set of clothes for camp. So those would be like clean clothes I'll be able to put on after a day of hiking, clothes I can sleep in if I want, and then I got my hiking clothes as well. And then, while it's cold out, I'll be sending this back probably sometime like in May. This is my puffy coat right here. It's a down puffy coat. I cheaped out on this thing. I got this on Macy's.com actually for like 35 bucks. It's a down puffy coat. They're really good down puffy coats by like Patagonia or REI or like North Face or like any of those big companies. Um, I love their gear, by the way. I just can't afford it all. Those things will run you between like a really good one, like 150 to 300 bucks. Yeah, for a coat. I couldn't afford that, man. But I did want a down puffy coat. So I got this guy here. So far, it's worked out well for me when I've been testing it, like in this cold over the winter. And I like it. And it's got this like it's like a cool like purple color, so that's cool too. But yeah, hopefully that does a trick for me. And like I said, I layer a lot because I'm not like the thickest dude out there, so I get cold pretty easy. So I like to layer a lot of stuff. So it's not like I'm just gonna be wearing this and a shirt. So I'll definitely be warm with this and all the layers I have. Alright, also for when it's cold out, this is one of my favorite pieces of gear right here. This is my lumber jacket. There we go. Love this hat. This is by REI too. It's really versatile. When it's really, really cold, it's got these little flaps that I can pull down here. So it gives you a little extra cover. Yeah, and then put these guys down if you want. If it's real cold, you tie them up if you need to. You can pull them up if it's hot. Pull the flap up if it's real hot. Wear it like this if you want to get a little air flowing. If it's cold in the morning and you're wearing it and then you start to sweat a little bit, then, you know, loosen it up a little bit and rock it like this. Very versatile, very cool hat, man. I love it. And it's super, super warm, man. And I could sleep with this on if I wanted to because it's really comfortable. Now, my gloves. I don't really like mittens very much, but with that Reynolds disease I was talking about, I don't like to wear gloves either because they separate your fingers, which means that like they're not getting the body warmth that they would if they were together with a pair of mittens. So I went and got one of those like hybrid type of gloves, so I can work with my hands a little bit here if I need to, and then they turn into the mittens, which is cool. And these things are really warm also. I got these on sale at REI for like 17 bucks, which is a great deal when I was comparing to the other prices of these things. And these are Black Diamond, so it's a decent brand. And they've definitely been keeping my hands reasonably warm. They won't warm them up. If my hands are already cold, then these aren't going to warm them up. But if my hands are warm and then I start hiking and put these on, these will keep my hands warm, which is really all I can ask for when it comes to hand warmth, for my situation anyway. Damn bandana fell off. But yeah, bandana. I'll be wearing a bandana all the time. And I like to keep an extra bandana too, not just the one for like cleaning my cook pot and wrapping my fork up in, but I keep a third one also. That way I can change bandanas whenever I want. And they just have so many uses. You know, you wipe some sweat, wipe some dirt off, use it as a cloth for something, use it to tie something up if you have to. I don't know, bandanas are they're another like really light, versatile piece of gear that you just can't have enough of them. Well, maybe you can have too many of them, but bandanas are great. Love those. Okay. Other clothing. Yeah, the socks. I do have a few pairs of socks. You want to get like wool socks. There's brands like Smart Wool. It's a great brand. Wigwam makes some really good ones too, actually. But probably the best out of all of them are called Darn Toughs. They're made in Vermont. And best part about them, they have a lifetime guarantee, which is like unheard of for a pair of socks to have a lifetime guarantee. They like dare you to wear a hole in them. And I actually, I kind of tested them out and I wore them for 7 straight days. And when you took them off, you would think after 7 days they would stink really bad. But they didn't stink at all. And like they didn't get like that nasty like hardness that socks get like after you've been wearing them for a day or two and you take them off. Like they still smelled like new socks. They still looked like new socks. They were incredible. So yeah, I got a pair of Darn Toughs in there too. But wool socks, man, you definitely want those. That's going to help you avoid blisters. And also kind of wicks the moisture off your feet too, which is another good way to help avoid blisters and kind of keep your feet cool at the same time. So yeah, wool socks, that's what you want for footwear. And then also for footwear, I'll be wearing these guys. These are my ultras. They're probably the ugliest shoes I've ever purchased in my life. Oh, yeah, like I hate how that looks around here. They're like really really ugly, but that's not what I'm going for out there. I need to keep reminding myself that. These are really really good shoes for hiking. That big toe box right here, that is so that like when you're hiking, like your feet swell, and then your toes will start to like splay out a little bit, and this big old toe box here allows room for them to do that like naturally. Um, um, so that's like the main feature of these. They also have like a little rock plate in there too, which gives you a better support. Um, they're not waterproof. I bought not waterproof on purpose because if you've ever really hiked in a downpour of rain, or if you just stepped in a giant like shin deep puddle, um, if your shoes are waterproof or not, your feet are getting wet. There's only so much waterproofing that a waterproof thing can do. Um, that being said, when it's not waterproof material, it dries a lot quicker. So knowing that it's going to get wet no matter what, I wanted to get something that I know would dry fast. And these supposedly fit the bill on that. Um, so that's another advantage to these. And dude, they're so light, man. These are like as light as like some of the Nike running shoes that I have, which are like incredibly light. It's like wearing nothing on your feet. So I love these, man. Also, for rain, I got this little poncho guy here. This is just going to be on the very outside of everything. It's going to go like basically over my head, and then it's going to be covering my body and my backpack all at the same time. This is just like an outer layer. I'm not relying on this poncho, but I'm going to use it as an extra layer to protect me against getting soaked out in the rain. Because, dude, if I sound like I'm too worried about rain, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just worried about it enough. Because I'm trying to tell you, man, it rains out on the AT a lot. I was up in with my girl Jackie. We were up last summer in the Presidential Mountains, like Mount Washington, and it poured, like, and it was rainy every day. And I don't know, people just aren't lying when they tell you that it rains a lot on the AT. So rain gear, really, really, really important. So that's why I'm taking all these precautions. So I got my outer shell here. This is my rain jacket right here. This is actually the only raincoat I've ever owned, and I love it. Another one of my favorite pieces of gear. I got this off of, it was on sale on SierraTradingPost.com. I think that's what it's called. This is a marmot, and I don't know. It's just it's a raincoat like a lot of other raincoats, or jacket, I should say. It's kind of like an outer shell almost. But it's also windproof too. Not resistant, but proof. Not water resistant, but waterproof. Big difference there. Don't get water resistant. You need the waterproof, man. Don't make that mistake like a good friend of mine did. But anyway, this thing keeps me dry, man. I put this thing under a faucet, and it's completely dry on the inside still. And I've had this thing for a few years now. And I've had it out in some conditions, man. And I use it as an everyday rain jacket, too. I don't just use it for hiking. Like, I use this thing. And it's still really waterproof. I don't know how heavy it is in comparison to other rain jackets. They probably make some that are a lot lighter than this. But I love this thing, man. And I already had it, so I wasn't going to go spend money on a new one. Even though I could go spend, again, another $200 to $300 on a really good rain shell. But I got this thing already, and this is what I'm using. And then for pants, rain pants, it's got some of those Frog Togs. People give mixed reviews on Frog Togs, anywhere from that's the only rain gear they ever use because it's super cheap and it works really, really well, to don't get it because they rip really easy and they're pieces of shit. So it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle is how I'm going to end up feeling about these. But yeah, I've worn them in the rain once. Didn't have any problems with them. They didn't rip or anything like that. And the price is right on these things, man. When you're talking like 15, 20 bucks on a pair of these. Um, because again, a good pair of rain pants, you're looking at 150 to 200 bucks on them things, man. It's crazy, dude. You can get them for less, for like 100 bucks for a good pair too. Don't get me wrong, but like for the best ones, you're talking 150 to 200 bucks, man. And if I'm not getting the best, I'm gonna get the whatever will work. That's the cheapest possible, and Frog Togs hit the mark on that. So that's what I'm rocking for my rain pants. This little guy here, this used to be my sleeping pad. I already used part of that for the handle on my Deuce of Spades shovel that I showed you. I also cut a piece off here to use as an ass pad. So when you're sitting on a log or something out there, it's a beautiful thing to have an ass pad with you. And I also use this when I put my tent on the outside of my pack. When my tent's packed up, that's the thing that I strap on the outside. I put this over it also just to give a little extra protection to it, so like it doesn't get punctured by like like a branch or something like that. And you can also use it like as knee pads, like if you're setting up your tent or something, or if you're just doing something at camp and you're gonna be like kneeling down and it's muddy, you can use this thing, man. So it's a really cool, versatile piece of gear that weighs maybe an ounce. And so I have my sleeping pad. My sleeping bag that I showed you, and my liner. I also, for sleeping purposes, this here is my sleeping pad. It's rolled up right now, and I'm not going to unroll it to show it to you and blow it up. But it is an air mattress. It's by Thermarest. This is like the best one they make. It's the Neo Air X Therm. Not the Neo Air Light. Not Neo Air Light. It's the Neo Air X Therm. This is the gray one. The X Light's like an orange one or something. Difference being, this has a way better R value. That means that's how well it keeps you warm at night. Sleeping pads play a big part in how warm you are at night, and this is the one that's going to keep you the warmest. So that's why I got this guy, and it's also really good for side sleepers, which I am. Man, one thing on my past backpacking trips that's been constant is the lack of sleep that I get, because it's so uncomfortable to sleep on that sleeping pad that I had. I can't do them not inflated. I just learned that. So I bit the bullet and I spent 150 bucks on this guy here. But you can't put a price on sleep for like 4 to 6 month hike, you know. So yeah, this is my Thermarest air mattress, and also in here is a little blow up pillow too by Trichology. Some dude, Darwin on the Trail. That's his YouTube channel name. He turned me on to that Trichology inflatable pillow. Thank you very much, dude. That thing is really comfortable, super light, well worth the 2-ounce weight penalty that you take on it. Because I can't be using my my bag of clothes as a pillow. That's not comfortable for me either. But an actual pillow works great as a pillow. Go figure. So that's where I did spend a little. Actually, the Trichology pillow was only like 15 or 20 bucks too. So it was like a bargain too. And I told you I have a pack cover made out of a trash bag. I'm actually going to be keeping that in this little stuff sack here, and I'll keep that with my rain gear. And really, guys, that's everything I'm bringing. Bug repellent, I'm not bringing that with me, but that will get sent to me later on, like when it's time for bugs to come out. And really, man, that's pretty much it. Maybe I'm missing a couple things. I'm really sorry if I am, but I think I got everything that I'm bringing that you might want to think about bringing too if you're gonna do your own hike. Um, Whatever I have here, there's probably 100 different versions of it, of like one kind of product. Like I got this one water filter here. I use the Sawyer Squeeze. I don't know. Go look online. Go to an REI store or Cabela's or wherever, or I don't know, wherever outfitter you have, and check out all the different options they have. Man, this is what I saw and what worked for me. There's all different models and brands of every piece of equipment that you might need out there. So take some time and like study up on them, man. Watch some other gear lists, get some other ideas that other people are using, um, and figure out what's going to work best for you. But remember this, man. While the gear's important, it can be expensive. Don't let that get you down, man. Um, because hiking can be really, really, really expensive if you let it be, or if you want it to be, or if you've just got that kind of money, man. There's nothing wrong with it. But I just want to show you this gear video to show you that you can get some of the cheaper stuff and still make it. Because honestly, this stuff here that I'm calling the cheaper stuff, like 20, 25 years ago, somebody hiking the AT would have been like enthralled by how great my equipment is. Um, it's so what I'm saying is it can be done with cheaper equipment, man. You might have to be a little bit more careful with it, with how you treat it. Um, but yeah, you can do this without spending $5,000 on the gear. Um, but there is a lot of gear to be had, a lot of research to do if you really want to pinpoint the best gear for yourself. It does take some legwork. Um, but yeah, once you have all this stuff, then you have it, man. And the next time you go hiking, you're talking about the cheapest vacation you've ever taken. Um, that's another great thing about hiking. But anyway, before I go off on too many tangents, I'm just going to wrap it up. So this is my gear for my 2018 Appalachian Trail through hike. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click like if if this video helped you out, or if you feel more informed now than you were prior. Um, and yeah, tell your friends, and I will see y'all on the trail tomorrow. You'll be getting a video of me at Amicalola Falls, ready to do the bitch. Let's go.